Now to the mass layoffs at the Department of Education. After the firings and earlier buyouts, the department has been slashed in half since President Trump took office. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott has that story. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. And these are sweeping and mass layoffs that are happening at the Department of Education, and what the Education Secretary is calling the first step toward dismantling the agency altogether.
Overnight, the Department of Education gutted. More than 1,300 workers told they're being laid off, now cutting the agency roughly in half. Education Secretary Linda McMahon saying those cuts are just the first step.
What we did today was to take the first step of eliminating what I think is bureaucratic bloat.
The department is already the smallest of all cabinet-level agencies, but is responsible for everything from managing federal loans for colleges to enforcing civil rights laws in schools. The leader of the nation's largest teachers union says students will pay the price.
There is no way that that's going to lead to faster service. Calls will go unlistened to. Emails will go unread. We know that.
McMahon asked what will happen to some of the department's critical programs, like Pell Grants and funding for students from low-income families.
We kept all of the right people and the good people to make sure that the outward-facing programs, the grants, the appropriations that come from Congress, all of that are being met, and none of that's going to fall through the cracks.
McMahon says the president has given her a mandate to strip down the agency and work with Congress to eliminate it. Democrats blasting the Trump administration's push to shrink the size of the federal government.
Throughout this administration, we're seeing cuts. Services will not be provided for, in this particular case, for our schools and the protections for our young people.
So sources say the president has floated the idea of moving some of the agency's work under the Department of Treasury. The president on the campaign trail repeatedly said he wanted to return the power back to the states. It is worth noting that the Department of Education does not decide what is taught in schools. That's already decided at a state and local level, Michael.
All right, Rachel, that is important to know. Thank you so much for that.